Alright, this is part 2 of the ATV snowblower. What I've done here is now I've got this all mounted on here, which I'm going to paint. And that's how I've got it hooked up. There's just a tensioner spring. And the one thing I think I've decided to do, I think this is going to run regardless of me putting, an on-off switch for the actual blower, but I'm thinking taking one of the triggers or something from the old snowblower and having it so that it activates it, and I can put more and more tension on the belt as I need it, so if it does start to slip I can always tighten it up. I may get away with just the spring here, so we'll do a test. But so right now I've got the plate mounted on the bottom, or off the front of the snowblower, or off the front of the ATV I should say. So, and that's going to be a quick connect into this part here. So I've got to weld that bar to these two side bars now. It's just sitting there right now. And then I've got a big wheel somewhere over here. That's going to get cut off. This is going to get cut off right here. And it's going to go right in here with a brace going across, so that this will hold. When I put the weight down, it'll put the weight on this wheel too, and not just the front end of my four-wheeler, which would be really hard on it. So that's where that's going to go for now. So I will get this all marked up and welded, and we'll continue from there. Okay, so here's the bracket that's going to go on the actual four-wheeler. So this is the part that I had to weld together. So it's pretty good. It's not, I'm no professional welder, that's for sure. But that's it's really hot right now, but it's not going anywhere. So now I have to, I've got to mount that, and then I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with this wheel, and then kind of go from there. So I'll be back here in a little bit. Okay, so I'll explain what I've done here. This is mounted on to the front, right at the end of the tubings. There's bolts there, grade 8 bolts too. So that's now it's on there, nice and strong. This is actually my plate that wraps up around. I think I'm just going to leave it so that in the spring I can take this off and put that back on. It's not in the way. I welded that piece in there, and then I welded this piece of angle iron in there, mounted a wheel that can rotate. Right now it can't because this lock, once it locks onto these pins, this will be out of the way, and then it is free rotating. So, and that will take off a lot of weight off the front of the lawn tractor. So the next thing is to get the blower lined up and figure out a way to winch it up and down. So sorry, I gotta tighten up my legs here on the tripod. Alright, let's see if I can get this all to line up. And this is strong now. So this is in there. This would help if I was in neutral. There we go. Alright, and there, it's good. Almost there. Just these two little pins. It doesn't help that I have all of these chunks of wood. I'll come back in a second here and that's essentially how it's going to mount up. I am going to set it up so that there's a piece of wood right underneath here so that I do just drive right up and hook up. And yeah, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's all on there. Now I'm not sure if this wheel is going to work. I may have to change that to 2 different wheels, or like I may put 2 on the outside. I think that's a bit much for that one little wheel, because right now, yeah, it's there's not much weight on it. But now I've got the winch cable in and around that pulley that I left in there, and then back up, and we'll see if it's gonna lift. So in. It'll lift. Yeah, so it lifts that high off the ground. I'd say that's about 3 inches. Now that does put quite a bit of weight on that little wheel down there. You can see it sunk down in the ground. So I'm going to give her a little test drive and see how everything works. And I may do another update video. I've got to put some other stuff on here, get the part that turns the chute and all of that done. But that should be it for now. Alright, we'll talk to everybody soon. Have a great day. Please remember to comment and subscribe. Okay, one more quick note. I ended up having to change it. The one wheel, the freewheeling wheel in the center, just wasn't enough to support all that weight. So I took the old wheels and I welded them, cut the shaft and welded it to the side of this. And now they're there. And with the weight of the blower on, they're on the ground, just barely. And then when the weight of the blower's not on, they actually free spin. Because as you can tell, that's got the front end down quite a bit on the blower, or on the machine. So there's some things I gotta do to change still, but there it is, up and down. I gotta add a different pulley in here to bring this wire in here. It's because right now it's hitting my my pull start. But there, it's all done. I've got to add some finishing touches. Obviously, I've got to add a guard for over top of the belts. Get my wand hooked up to here. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for here. I got to pull this apart and add in a kill switch that I can run up to, you know, on the handlebars somewhere closer, just in case something happens. I like to be able to shut the motor down in a hurry. But that's everything. Alright, thanks for checking out my video. Have a good day.